Life is like a sea. We keep moving without an end. It's true that nothing stays with us. What remains is just the memories of some people who touched us as waves. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dr. Tapaswini's Corner. That's me, and I work as a head and neck oncosurgeon in Delhi. Recovery after cancer is a difficult challenge for many patients, and especially if you have been afflicted with it as a child. But to a few, these hard times have led to greatest moments of their lives. They fought this battle like strong soldiers and have never given up. Well, that's also the story with our today's childhood cancer survivor, Sanya Goel. Sanya is a Delhi-based girl currently pursuing her master's in psychology. She's a certified art therapist and often engages herself with various social activities with different NGOs. Through an Instagram-based initiative called Miss Mindfulness, she makes thought-provoking creative content to spread awareness pertaining to mental health issues. She's a foodie and loves to cook. When asked about her motto in life, the reply was, if you are privileged enough, then it's your responsibility to give back to the society and the people who need you the most. Lovely thought coming from such a young mind. Welcome, Sanya. It's indeed a pleasure to have you on this show today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you for having me here and giving me a chance to share my journey.
Well, Sanya, what was the age at which you were diagnosed with cancer?
So, ma'am, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Right.
In June 2009, I was 11 years of age at that time.
So ALL, that's what we popularly call it as, and this happens to be the most common blood cancer in children. So what were the symptoms? How did you know that things were not correct?
Ma'am, actually, I was having discontinuous fever since 2008 November. Like for 6 months, I was having discontinuous fever on and off. And I used to have severe pain in my legs. And my hemoglobin levels were dropping and my white blood cells were increasing rapidly since ALL is a white blood cell cancer. So my white blood cells actually increased the normal range. And I was also losing my weight.
Okay. So, but were there any episodes of abnormal bleeding or some patches in your body? Any discoloration or easy bruising whenever you were hurt or you would fall, there would be easy bruising in your body. Was that also there as part of your symptoms? No. Okay. So how was this news broken to you? You were too young to be told, but then I'm sure some little information was given to you. And how was it that the news got on to you?
So, ma'am, as soon as I got my bone marrow biopsy done, I knew something was definitely wrong with me because it was a very big procedure for a kid to go through. It was very painful. So I asked my mom that what is wrong with me? Why such procedures are being conducted on me? So she never told me that I had cancer because I think she was not comfortable talking about it or she did not wanted me to stress about it. So she just told me that I have some blood infection and I'll be recovered in another 2-3 months. So we never had a conversation related to cancer as such.
Okay. So everything was hidden, but you were told that there is some problem, though things were not really very distinctly told to you. And too young to be actually told. But could you fathom the gravity of the situation? Could you understand that this is not something which is simple, an infection, or could you go beyond what you were being told?
So yeah, ma'am, actually, since we used to go to the hospital so frequently, I could read everywhere the word cancer written in the hospital. Like there's a lot of information written in the hospital. But since I was too much, I believed in my parents so much, I was too sure that they could not lie to me about such thing.
Okay.
So I believed them completely that no, I don't have cancer. So I thought it's a multi-speciality hospital treating different kind of diseases.
Okay. So when the doctors were trying to make the diagnosis, you must have been, as you said, a series of investigations which was done, must have been really bothersome. But were you that cooperative a child? You thought, okay, let me go ahead with whatever my parents or my doctors say. How sporty were you? So were you sporty enough to cooperate with whatever you were asked to undergo by the doctors and by your parents?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, though the tests were really painful, there were a lot of blood tests conducted. I got my biopsy done twice, and PICC line was also inserted twice so that the chemo medicines can be taken. So yes, the tests were really painful, but at the end, I thought that all of this will be worth it when I'll be able to fight my battle. So it did not bother me, and I was very sporty about it, and I took it optimistically and cooperated in all the tests.
Good, great. That's lovely to hear. So how long was this treatment?
So, ma'am, my treatment was for 2.5 years, 2.5
Okay.
years. And it was divided into two phases. The first phase where the chemo cycles were too much, I had to go to the hospital frequently and take a lot of medicines. So it was a bit extensive. But later, when the I would like to say it again.
Yeah, the second phase.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the second phase, which was the maintenance phase.
Correct.
In that, now the medicines were less and I had to go to the hospital also less. So yeah, this is how it was divided into two phases.
Okay, okay. So it's almost like more than 2 years that you had to be seeing the face of the hospital time and again and time and again. Yeah. So were these like 21 days cycle and then followed by, 21 or the 28 days cycle? Do you have any idea or you've forgotten about it?
I don't remember it exactly, but I do remember that initially I had to go to the hospital almost on the daily basis.
Okay.
And then there used to be certain chemo cycles where I had to be admitted for 3 days.
Mm-hmm. So what was the feeling when you used to see your treating doctor?
It was a joy. So I was being treated by Dr. Gauri Kapoor, who is the head of the pediatric oncology department at Rajiv Gandhi, along with Dr. Sandeep Jain. These were the two constant doctors that I had throughout my journey. Right. Other than them, I also had other doctors and nurses who have supported me fight cancer. And the best thing that I like about them is that they have always motivated me and encouraged me throughout my journey. And even today, I meet them, they always encourage me and motivate me.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. So how was the feeling? I mean, you, every time and again, you're being subjected to chemotherapy, to various blood tests. Was that not a very good feeling, or you thought that, yeah, it's a battle, so I have to fight it, so I have to go with it?
So since I was 11-year-old, I know hospital is not the best place to go every day.
Correct.
It used to get monotonous on some days, but I was usually cheerful. I used to interact with other patients, their parents, and nurses. So I used to keep myself busy. There was a playroom. I used to get some toys and coloring books for myself. But yeah, definitely there were some days I felt low and did not wanted to go to the hospital at all.
Yeah. So life sometimes can be very painful. It gets complicated when things go worse. And many a times one doesn't realize as to where it is going to lead us to. But one has to keep going and stand strong against the storm. And in fact, these worst times make us discover our hidden potentials. I hope you fairly agree with it. And you've gone through so much and you really stood against the storm and you have won over it. And so how difficult was you already said it was not a very good exercise to go to the hospital. So what were the problems that you had? Do you remember? Can you recollect when chemotherapy was being administered? What were the complications?
So, ma'am, I think chemotherapy not only affects you physically, like definitely there are some physical side effects, but it does affects you mentally as well. So I think it did hit me mentally when I started losing my hair. Because hair are something really important to me, I think. And when I was told by the psychologist that I'll be starting to lose my hair, I did not take it well. I went home and threw a huge tantrum that even if I, lose a single strand, I will not continue my treatment. I don't want to get treated anymore. So then my mom, comforted me and told me that my life is more important than my hair, obviously. So then I took it in a positive way and decided that, okay, I'll be cooperative with the treatment and I'll fight my battle.
So hair is something which, you can't really forget. Losing hair, turning bald. So even as a small child, it made so much of a difference to your psyche. Really?
Exactly.
So that adds to the beauty. Yeah? But then if you realize as we grow older, beauty, it's never lost. It just moves from the face to the heart. So as you mature, it's not the external beauty, it's probably the inner beauty which shines and outshines. So when you underwent so many cycles of chemotherapy, obviously there were a lot of losses from school and, losing school teachings. So how did you cope up, and how come you focused so beautifully that you had exams where you came out with flying colors?
So, ma'am, I was always a bright kid in the school. I was good in academics. And even though I was just in 5th standard at that time, I used to read my books randomly at home, even though I was not going to school, to keep myself updated that what chapters are going on and everything.
Wonderful.
And I used to hear other patients, talking that they could not cope up with their study and they had to miss an academic year or even drop their school. So when I heard that, I made a promise to myself that no matter what, I will not let cancer affect my studies. Wow. So that was my motivation, and I took tuitions before my final exams, and then I actually scored really well.
Wonderful to hear that, And what we say, there are 3 P's in our life. One is patience, the other is persistence, and the third is perspiration. So when you have these 3 P's, and that makes an unbeatable combination for success, and that's what I see in you. And the other thing is that one needs to believe in oneself, isn't it? So if you believe in oneself, in your own self, and that gives you this determination and this infinite energy, and you can succeed to achieve whatever you have, your dreams in life, right? So did you miss your friends and your play hours? Because there were so many hospital visits. I'm sure it's taken away a lot of your play hours. 10-year-old child wanting to romp around, play around. So what all happened?
So, ma'am, actually, right before the treatment, I shifted to a new house. Okay. So I was well prepared that I will not be able to see my neighborhood friends too much. I was ready to be a little aparted from them, but definitely I missed my school friends a lot. I missed, going to school with them, having fun. And other than that, I also missed eating junk food, going to, malls, because I used to, go out a lot before cancer. So we were not allowed to go so that we don't catch external infections. Correct. So I missed all of them. Yeah, I did.
You did. So, but then when you came back after your treatment and you joined back your school, you were a regular student, did you feel that there was a change in the attitude of the people whom you really loved with, whom you really loved to play with, your friends around? Was there any change in their perception of you?
No, ma'am, I did not feel that there was any change. They were very welcoming and they were very happy that I came back. and they were very supportive. They always helped me, and even I think I'm confident because of the people that they were, the people who were around me. So no, but definitely I did face some nasty comments around, not from the people who were close to me, but other people. Even it is very shocking that once I was in the hospital, I was waiting for my mom. She was getting some paperwork done, and there was this woman who was getting treated herself, and she asked me about my illness, and I was having a conversation with her. I told her that this I have, and then in front of me, she started talking to her daughter-in-law, and she was saying stuff like, she will never get married or have kids because she had cancer in her childhood.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I did.
So how did you retort back?
I did not say anything. I was too young to say anything back to her. But I don't think so it affected me as such, because for me, it didn't make any sense. I knew that I'll recover this and I'll be as normal as anybody else out there.
Good. That's a great attitude, huh? Did somebody comment on the hair loss that you had and that you had no hair on your scalp? Was that some topic of discussion where people would think about, hey, listen, how is she looking now?
So, ma'am, I never actually got my hair shaved completely. I just started losing them. So some hair was always there on my head. I never shaved them. Yeah. So no, I did not hear such comments on my face, at least. I don't know what people talk behind the back. Yeah.
But now there's such a great blessing. You have such lovely, luscious hair, such luxuriant hair. Huh? Don't you think chemotherapy has done some good to you also?
Yes,
even though you lost them, now you're blessed with real good ones.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you go back, when you look back, how do you think life has treated you?
Ma'am, I don't think that life has treated me any different, because everyone has their own share of struggles in life.
Correct.
No one's life is a rosy bed, right? So I think that everybody has their own struggles, be it an illness, be it some financial issues or any traumatic incident. So I think life has just treated me just like anybody else. I'm no different.
Yeah, so it's so correct that one can never repair the past. That's almost impossible. So one should be prepared to construct the future, which is to some extent predictable. So there's no point brooding over the past. So whatever has gone has gone. So now you should look ahead to the future ahead. So when we look at December 2011, that was a great milestone in your chapter when you were declared cancer-free. So what, in your view, is the most precious thing in life?
Ma'am, everybody is after money, success, and beauty. But after fighting cancer, after losing my hair, I did understand that beauty is definitely temporary. It can be taken away from you at any point of time. So
Great
what
thought.
for me is precious is my physical and mental health. If you are physically and mentally healthy, then only, you can enjoy these pleasures, this beauty, this success and money. If you don't have that, you will never be able to enjoy such things.
Lovely thoughts, Sanya. You can be a great philosopher. The most precious things in life are those which we actually don't see. You cannot see with your physical eyes, like love, gratitude. You just have to feel them. So what's your mantra of handling tough times? Since you have gone through so much, what's the mantra that you want to share with people who are going to listen to you?
Firstly, I think it is very natural to, be scared or have fear during tough times. But I never let my fear stop me from moving ahead. I also get scared, but after a while, I just take a deep breath and I say to myself that I have to do it regardless the tough thing. So this is my number one mantra that I follow in life, is that I will never let my fear stop me from moving ahead.
Wow. So the hardest battle, as we said, it's given to the strongest soldier. So you are one of them. Huh? So tough times, tough situations build strong people in the end. And so one should never give up. I think that's a great mantra that we should all hold on to. Have you become more spiritual? Have you become more philosophical after you have had so much of traumatic experiences in the past?
I don't think so that having cancer has made me more philosophical or spiritual, but definitely I've started to value life more. I don't think so I did value life that much at that time. And I've started to enjoy the little moments in life and little things in life. I've started to enjoy them. Yeah.
That's beautiful. But you know, God's plans are always beautiful. You know, sometimes the process looks quite painful and hard. But shouldn't forget that when He's silent, He's doing something great for us. So all that we need to do is hand over our problems to Him, and in no time He pulls you out of it. He pulls you out of all the difficulties. Now that 9 years have passed, I think I'm correct. It's 9 years past. Do you still have that fear that the disease may come back or you may have a relapse? I mean, the story of cancer is always like this. I mean, even if you are declared cancer-free, nobody can predict that it would not come back again. Does that fear come to you from time to time?
So I think when I was recovered from cancer, like during my teens, as I told, I was 11 when I was diagnosed. So around my teens, this thought never bothered me as such. But as I'm growing, I'm seeing what poor lifestyles we all are indulging in, increasing pollution, or how common cancer has become. It does hits me on some days that maybe I can have a relapse. But it's not like a constant fear that is there. But yeah, I won't say that I've completely forgotten that I had cancer.
So in the entire journey of fight with cancer, who do you think has been your constant support?
I think definitely my family and my relatives have been a constant support. They have made sure that I'm happy and contented throughout my treatment. Since we were not allowed to eat outside food, my mom has made every food on the planet at home so that I don't feel missed out, that I'm missing out something.
Wonderful.
And definitely my friends. So yeah, these people have been a constant support, and I feel really blessed to have them in my life.
Yeah, so they stand, by you, what we say as mirrors and shadows. The family stands like mirrors and shadows. That is, mirrors never lie and the shadows never leave you. So you need a lot of physical, emotional, financial support. And this is a disease which can drain you out in every form. So what would you like to tell children who are learning to fight this disease?
Firstly, I would like to tell them that all these changes that they're going through, be it losing their hair or having scars or fluctuating weight, all of this is temporary. All you need to focus is to, fight this battle, because at the end, cancer will not define you. Only your strengths will define you. So it's just a bad day, my friend, not a bad life.
Good. Wonderful to hear that. Within us lies an immense potential to reverse negativity to positivity. So all these negative thoughts that we get during the process of the fight against this disease, if you can turn it into a positive attitude, you realize that there is a lot of potential in our system itself, and it helps us to optimize our potential to fight. And it also helps us to focus on various plans and achieve success. So one should learn to master one's emotion. That's very important. So one should learn to master one's emotion and stop being one's own enemy. That's a great thing which I would love to share for all those people who are learning to fight this disease. So do you in any ways think that this disease has been a blessing in disguise?
Definitely, ma'am. I think, there's a saying that everybody handles pressures differently. I think just like when coal is exerted to pressure and it turns into diamond, this is what cancer has done to me. It has made me so much stronger that now I can fight or I can take any challenge in life. It has made me really strong and grown me in many ways.
So when you wake up in the morning, how does it feel? Every day when you wake up, I'm sure there's a feeling of gratitude. It's a day again which is full of blessing. And when you look beyond the past and the present, there's something which you always look forward to, and that's a better future. So one should appreciate hard times, because sometimes they become just another chapter in our success story. Now, the entire world is the entire world is going through what we call as the COVID pandemic. And that's changed life of many of us. So how's life been during the lockdown? Are there certain restrictions on you because you've been a cancer patient? Do people tell you, listen, don't go here, don't eat out, don't engage yourself too much in social activities? Has there been a lot of pressure on and restraint on your movements?
I don't think so that there has been any restrictions because I have been a cancer survivor as such, but definitely I'm taking my precautions just like anybody else because everyone is at the same risk of developing COVID-19. But definitely the thing that I feel is that now the life is not as carefree as it was. There's a constant worry, and I think that is the major change that has happened to me. I don't think so that I'll be able to live life as free I used to. There's a constant worry of COVID-19 going around all the time.
Right. And it's something which everybody is experiencing it for the first time, and we can see a lot of impact that it has had on the entire world. So in the end, Sanya, how would you like to sum up? If you had one wish, and what would that be?
Ma'am, I don't think so. It would be very hypothetical to say that, suddenly one day cancer vanishes from the world. But I would definitely want to contribute as much as I can and make a difference in the life of people who are suffering from cancer. And for that, we at Rajiv Gandhi has an initiative called Asha. We, the survivors, have created a support group so that we can help the patients who are on treatment and off treatment. So I think we can, I hope that we can make this initiative big and create some difference in the lives of people.
Wow, wonderful, Sanya. Wonderful talking to you. It was indeed a pleasure, and I just loved all that, your thoughts, such lovely thoughts that you have. And thank you once again. Thank you. Children are quite resilient.
So much,
Children are quite resilient. The potential within them is far greater than the obstacles that surround them. One bad chapter in life doesn't mean that the story is over. It may lead to a beautiful destination. So face every problem with a smile. It may not change your problem, but it can change the way you go through it. Thank you once again. Thank you, Sanya, and thank you to all the listeners